웨스턴 에너지에 대한 설명이 좀 필요한데요. 웨스턴 에너지에 대해서 좀 설명해 주세요.
So Carl, can you tell us about what the Western Energy Project is?
Yes, so Western Energy is a regional center that is raising capital to drill oil wells in rural Oklahoma. It's essentially raising the EB5 capital to partner with a major oil company. It will most likely be Continental Resources that they will partner with, and they will drill up to 26 wells in rural Oklahoma. It is obviously oil prices are relatively high now, so it's a very favorable environment for an oil and gas project. It's also benefiting from the fact that it's a rural project, and in the new law there's some benefits for rural investors, which includes priority processing. And it's also uniquely structured, this particular deal, to benefit from the change in the law, the recent law that allows for investors to be repaid a lot sooner. So in this particular case, investors can start receiving their capital back after 2 years, which is pretty unique. Not aware of any other regional center that offers that.
그럼 웨스턴 에너지 프로젝트가 어떻게 엑스퍼다이트가 될 수 있었던 거죠?
How did Western Energy become an Expedite project?
Well, they, strictly speaking, they're not an Expedite project. They're a rural project, so they qualify for priority processing. We're not quite sure what that means yet, but we believe it's going to be probably around 2 years for priority processing, compared to a normal process, which is several years longer. But in addition to that, they are applying for expedited approval for investors. And to qualify for that, it has to be a project that's in the national interest. Oil production, it's easy to argue that producing more oil is better for the country because it's going to bring down the oil price, and it's a big component of inflation. So there's a very strong argument, and I think I know they've had some success, as we've seen here, in terms of the regional center approval notices that have been approved for expedited processing. Investors can rely on the same argument that the regional center relied on. So I think there's a very good chance investors get expedited as well. And that means essentially you get moved to the front of the queue and you'll get processed right away. We've had quite a bit of success with other investors in other projects that have been approved for expedited processing, and it's taken anywhere from 5 months to 11 months to get approval if you're expedited. So we do know that that process works, and it's a very quick process.
그럼 루러이면서 엑스퍼다이트인 프로젝트가 일반적인 다른 프로젝트보다 좀 리스크가 클까요?
Do you think there's a big risk in between Expedite project and those normal project, ordinary project?
I think they have a very strong argument to get expedited, and that's because the project approval form I-956F was approved for expedited processing. It would be odd for me to think that USCIS just wants to speed up some paperwork. I think there's a much stronger argument that someone at USCIS believes this is a worthy project for expedited processing. We will know for sure in a few weeks' time. The first investor is about to file. He's applying for expedited processing. So I would guess in 3 or 4 weeks from now, we'll know for sure. But I'm very confident that investors will be expedited. But we don't know 100% for sure. But I'm very confident that it will work.
There's a high chance.
Yeah.
그러면 실제로 이 엑스퍼다이트 프로젝트로 최근에 승인을 받았던 케이스들이 얼마 만에 승인서를 받았어요?
How long it usually takes to get approval if the clients apply for expedites?
The usual process is you file your I-526 and your immigration attorney will request an expedited process at the same time. Usually, USCIS within 2 to 3 weeks will respond to that request, and they'll say, yes, we've agreed to process this on an expedited basis or not. And so you'll know within 2 to 3 weeks whether you're going to be expedited or not after you've filed. If they agree to expedite your process, then it varies, but in our experience, it's been anywhere from 5 to 11 months to get your approval. It hasn't. We've had a number of cases now. I think it's coming up to a dozen, and they've all been within that sort of time frame. When I say a dozen, sorry, that's in other projects that were
The previous project that we
It's
had.
pretty. I should also add, it's pretty rare to be expedited. It's not something USCS lightly does because it is a huge benefit. And frankly, you can't expedite everybody. Not everybody can be moved to the front of the queue. So it is something that is fairly rare. So the bar is high for expedited processing.
How closely we work together with Hanmaum. It's basically a marketing Hanmaum
Yes, absolutely.
agency, to do this project.
Yes, well, it's been wonderful coming to Korea, meeting with Hamam. We're very keen to be working closely with you and helping your clients in this process. We're available to answer any questions they have about the project, get them as comfortable as possible on the deal, and advise them as best we can. So it's been a pleasure working with Hamam, and we're very pleased to continue this relationship.
Yes, thank you very much.
한마음이민법인은 오클라호마의 개발 현장을 답사도 마쳤습니다. 현장에서 전해온 영상을 공유합니다.
Hi, my name is Phil Vashon. I'm the chairman of Western Energy, and this is the Fazio Well. The Fazio Well was part of our first fund, and we put our investors' money in 2017. And what most people would see here is a producing oil well, but we see it as a way to pay our investors back. Thank you.